Hey everyone, you know what the video is about from the title, but I beat the Surge DLC on stream and I didn't even realize it. Um, I think that says enough, really. I think that says enough. But I'll go into it a bit further. So, I played through on a new, fresh file because I didn't want to do it on New Game Plus. Turns out that was a bit of a mistake because you have to get pretty far into the game in order to finish all of the DLC content. Because a character puts a blockade in your way until you get to a certain part in the main game Surge story. And so I thought, okay, I'll do that, but I'll also play on my New Game Plus file, because fuck it at this point, right? So I'll play that off stream and then do the main game progress and come back on stream with the new file. So I did that. However, I then did that on the new file, made my way all the way back to the DLC area, and continued with the DLC on stream. So that was that. And then I beat what I thought was, well, what is the second boss of the DLC, that actually turns out to be the last boss of the DLC. And when I went back to the character in the op station, he said near enough the same thing that he said when a blockade was put up prior. So when a blockade was put up so you had to progress in the main story, he said certain lines, gave you a map to where you need to go, and he did the same again. So I figured at the end of the stream, I thought, oh, great, another progress wall. Well, and, end my suffering, and so I stopped the stream right then. However, I come to find out, re-examining things, and beating the DLC on my New Game Plus character, I come to find that that was it. That was the DLC. That was all. And so what threw me for a loop was the same dialogue and the same kind of circumstances that made you progress last time is now just an ender. So so I was actually enjoying my time with this DLC. It wasn't late game Surge busted. It was in a very sweet spot with the difficulty, maybe even on the easy side, but it was still quite a sweet spot, especially that last boss, which was a good difficulty. And the design, the aesthetic of the DLC is great. I love it. But for a DLC that's like, what was it, £15? Something like that? To be just under 3 hours long, and to have such an abrupt non-ending is really strange. Really strange. I mean, just compare it to any Dark Souls DLC. Compare it to the old Hunters. Compare it to Ringed City, the whatever other DLCs there have been for the Souls series. And typically, they have defined endings, they have a defined, path, and they're a pretty good length with a good few bosses. This is just... This is just like an area. Because of how the Surge divides up areas, this is just an area. Right? With 2 bosses, 3 if you count the transformation of the second boss. But, and then it just sort of ends with not a bang, but a pff. I mean, it's left me pretty conflicted, because I never want to conflate price. I never want to, link price of something to length, but I will link the price to the quality. The quality of the area is really nice, and it is fun to play, but really? That's it? I'm left with just feeling, that's it? Really? That is it? Like, even now I'm making this video, I still don't believe what I thought was the final boss, because it was just so abrupt. But, I mean, I guess that was it. So I beat the Surge DLC A Walk in the Park in under 3 hours. And like 2.5 hours I beat it. I mean, that's discounting grinding, because I wanted to grind for level ups in gear, just because I'm a faggot and that's what I do. So the streams equate to about 2.5 hours, and that's just raw going through the DLC. I don't know, man. I'm pretty let down, and I don't know why I'm shocked, because it's the Surge. You know what I mean? A huge letdown being a huge letdown with DLC. Shocker, I know. Like, I shouldn't be surprised, yet I am. So, again, if you don't already know my thoughts on the game, I thought it was a good game with huge potential, and it failed to hit the mark quite severely and frustrated the ever-loving shit out of me because of it. That's a brief summary of my opinion. And that's pretty much how, the DLC pretty much followed suit. So, I guess they didn't stray too far from their core. But, yeah. So, I just thought I'd make this video to let you all know. I got nothing. I'm out. Bye. Jesus Christ.